One of the craziest things he did here is he wore a dress and was like, well, this gets me hard. There's no evidence he even messaged a minor in like a horrible way. I don't know. I think this guy kind of got slandered, man. I think this Ven person sucks. Sorry this happened to you, Alex Kister. In the future, hopefully you'll learn to not express your emotions with fans because they'll probably backstab you later on and try to make it to be something it's not. I have looked at these allegations literally twice already, and both times I've mentally tapped out because I hate them so much, okay? The subject material, the documents going around about it, the videos made about it, all of it is trash, and I'm sorry, but everything I've seen is trash, okay? Last time I talked about it, I literally like got so frustrated because everybody involved is just, I couldn't find one non-estrogenic person. Not that that's a problem, but you know, literally every video is like, I'm a trap. Okay, Jesus. Talk about what's going on, bro. Imagine if I opened every video being like, hey guys, I'm a straight white male, and like, shut up. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put myself through the pain that I don't want to put myself through. We're finally gonna get into the Alex Kister allegations. I'm not gonna do the backloaded, front-loaded explanation of who he is. He created the Mandela catalog. He's been in a bunch of Wendigoon videos. Everybody knows who he is at this point. I've said it 3 times on stream already, okay? There is a document that was made about Alex. I'm gonna try to read through all of it and avoid casting judgment. I'm going to read the entire thing and give my thoughts. It's really long. It's really long. And I'm sick of reading documents. I genuinely am. But we're gonna do it. How many words is this? It's 11,000 words. Something really bad is gonna happen to me, guys. I can't say what I'm gonna do, but you know. If you know, you know. Tom, reading is good for you. This won't induce brain rot. Yes, reading good things. Reading good literature is good for you. Like my own scripts. Reading this trash is not good for you, okay? Jesus. How could this be good for me? How could reading the Alex Kister allegations do anything but rot my brain out of my asshole? I'm sorry. Pop his Indian sack up. Dude, you're right. You raise a good point. I was just about to say the same thing. I'm gonna pop this in. I'm gonna chill out. I'm gonna lock the fuck in, and we're gonna read this document together as a fucking squad, okay? My 1,500 closest friends and family members here today. We're in this together. We're in it for the long haul. This shit-ass document. I guess I'm front-loading it a bit here. Okay. Disclaimer. This can't be a defamation case. I do not want my name to be associated with the situation, and all other names will be censored. The victims are allowed to come forward if they wish to. I understand it will be impossible to hide, and that's why afterward I will be leaving my accounts associated with this name. Originally, I decided against talking about my side of the story, especially when I promised to keep quiet. However, I feel like it is necessary to understand the context. I and several others have noticed this behavior pattern that Alex exhibits. This was dealt with in private many times before coming to a conclusion. We have concluded that the best closure would be to warn others of this and to prevent this from happening again. Not just from Alex, but from any creator that misuses their platform. All right, so he's been misusing his platform. For the past several months, Alex has shown predatory and manipulative behavior. It has brought me and others a great deal of pain. We have also realized this has been going on a lot longer than expected. Everyone in this document has permitted me to use their screenshots or testimonies. All names are censored, but the person can choose to speak publicly out if they wish. Sorry, to publicly speak out if they wish. My side shows Alex's empty promises and manipulation. Alex goes by any pronouns, so in some of these screenshots, you'll see she. So we're into the any pronouns crowd. That's sort of the situation we're dealing with here. One of the most startling revelations about this all for me was that Alex Kister is apparently trans or something, or has gender dysphoria. One of the craziest things he did here is he wore a dress and was like, well, this gets me hard. He was like wearing a dress and he was like, guys, I'm wearing a dress and it makes my penis hard. And he sent that to someone that he met from his like Discord server. Now the question here, okay, because you know, whatever you think of transgenderism, I think people should be allowed to do whatever they want. Genuinely, don't give a shit. If it makes you happy, do whatever you want. But the question is if he misuses his platform to victimize people online, okay? He's someone with a big audience. He's someone with almost 1 million subscribers. His videos have gotten a ton of views. He's been, you know, sort of vouched for by a lot of people online. He's been in Wendigoon videos. He's done interviews with Wendigoon. Shout out Wendigoon, by the way, friend of the show, if you're out there watching. But Alex is a pretty popular guy, probably the most popular analog horror guy in the past little while. To the point that his stuff has even been covered in game theory videos, which is, I would say, probably one of the biggest video essay channels on YouTube.
So it's a lot of spell. It's basically a lot of like, people are bad at spelling. Like, it's what I'm taking away from the Mandela effect.
And this video has 1.5 million views. This is a live stream of him reacting to it. And he's done a bunch of these. This one is just a straight up game theory about it.
Volume 4, we see that Gabriel is a literal being that can manifest in reality, communicate with normal humans, and then kill the people he encounters.
MatPat's the GOAT, by the way. Shout out MatPat. But I'm bringing this up to point out that Alex clearly was super, you know, prolific, I would say. He was a very prolific artist, is a prolific artist, I should say. And what he's being accused of is misusing his platform to manipulate people. Don't know what that means yet, I guess. And the bigger problem here, apparently, is that there were some interactions he was having with people that were underage. Now, I don't know what that means yet. From everything I've seen from all of this, okay, he was in a Discord server with some minors, and he was being too open to them about his transness. From what I've seen, he didn't groom anyone. People are calling him a pedophile on Twitter. I've seen no evidence of that. But it seems like he was being too open about his gender problems with children, basically, with underage people. That is very gross. It's very weird. It's very, you know, it's kind of foul, you know? I don't think you should be talking about your gender identity struggles with your kid audience, especially if that involves you, like, cross-dressing and getting hard to it. But I have to know more about this to know what exactly he did, okay? And I believe this document was written by his ex-girlfriend, actually, which is a very interesting development. At least he didn't help 1,000 kids become trans like that one person on Twitter. Yeah, shout out to Keffels and Bob posting for that one, buddy. The beginning. For most of these, there are no screenshots because Alex asked me to delete his old phone number, and some were said in person. Alex and I would start dating in April 2023, and we broke up in June 2023. At first, there wasn't anything particularly weird that happened because everything seemed to be heavily communicated or consented. While reliving those memories, there were moments that I did find strange. Alex would joke during our relationship that he would kill himself if anything we sent to each other was leaked, and that I was a spy coming to destroy his life. This is one of the earliest cases of his paranoia, and I would try my best to help, but it became apparent later on that Alex has very trust issues with everyone. It became a lot more destructive and gets in the way of his thinking process. I would also find it uncomfortable when he would joke in a public server with a lot of his fans that I was keeping him alive and he would have killed himself if I didn't exist. This channel will be deleted. It becomes cemented in my subconscious to prevent him from hurting himself and to try to always keep him happy. He would tell me that he would masturbate several times a day to my photos and messages before we opened up sexually, while implying non-con fantasies he would do to my clothing if we never opened up to each other. He would later on confess to wanting to wear my clothing before we opened up as well. Everything about me was sexualized heavily over time, including my face, my voice, and any clothing that I would wear. I ruined the way I viewed myself and how I viewed romance. So basically what they're saying here is that they had a relationship. They eventually, before they were dating, no sexual stuff. Eventually they start talking sexually, they start dating. And Alex confesses that before that moment, he had already been jerking off to them a few times a day, and he wanted to do something non-consensually or something. I don't know what that is yet. To be fair, I don't care about CNC, consensual non-consent. Like, if the two people agree that they want to go gorilla mode in bed, based. I tried to accept that this was normal and would consent to it, but this was only after the fact he would confess these things to me. These behaviors are extremely unhealthy habits and showed he hardly had any self-control. He confessed to me in a call that he would have fantasies about others, especially about their clothing. Okay. What the f*** are the ads? Holy sh**. What the f***? Okay, I've never watched porn on this computer, especially not fucking cartoon porn. I've never watched cartoon porn in my life, so Jesus. Does that really need to be here? To be clear, when I jerk off, I've watched porn on my phone. Because I'm not a fucking freak. I don't sit in this computer chair and fucking beat my meat, okay? And that's real. They say I'm a fraud, but I really am a saint. Black Lagoon, Heaven Shot? What the f*** happened to her, dude? Stop with the ads are personalized bullshit, Wendigoon, okay? I've seen the ads in your computer and they're pretty dark. Based porn ad, it's not based. Oh my god, yes please, I think about that constantly. OMG. Sorry if this is creepy, but even if we never opened up sexually to each other, if I found your wet panties in the bathroom or something, I would have jerked off to them so hard. Jeez, bro is horny. Bro is horny. And I've read this twice already, and I'm still fucking Jesus. The aftermath of the breakup would strain our connection over time. Alex had broken up with me over text and mentioned he was not feeling any romantic tension between us. It was a noticeable, gradual issue that our messages would mainly consist of sexting, and I had less of a connection again. But I never really got an answer for this. Even when we called, it felt like I was brushed over easy. These surviving screenshots are from when I was talking to a friend. Can we not get the okay, we're not getting the ad this time. Holy shit. Stop! Okay. Can't you just put the pictures on a normal thing, dude? Tom is beating the real cell allegations? Lol. Okay, I guess I'll just be straight up and ask you and be 100% totally honest. How do you view our relationship right now, and how do you feel about it? Dude, why is it there? Why? In my eyes, I don't think there's any major problems. Was it because of the thing I said last night? I can go into more details about it if you want, because it is a fear I've been having lately, and I guess it's the only issue I can think about between the both of us. Well, mainly about me. But are you having mixed feelings? Could you elaborate on this? Yeah, sure. I do enjoy our time together in person, and I feel really close to you, but I do not know if I'm feeling enough romantic tension between us. It almost feels like we are extremely close friends. The only time that I feel like we have a tension is when we are sexting, but I do not want you to feel like that's all I like you for, because it's not. I love you so much no matter what, but sometimes it feels just platonic other than that. Okay, so he's basically just breaking it to her easy that he just wants to fuck worker. That's what he's doing, right? Is that not what he's doing? I feel like that's definitely what he's doing here. After I implied my fears of being used for sexual purposes in a relationship, Alex suggested that being friends with benefits could fit us better. I caved in because I was still very much in love with him and would have done anything for him. Well, that's your choice though, right? Like, you can't really blame him for that. Actually, that's a dumb question. Never mind. It wasn't dumb. It was just, I guess that's how our relationship is already in a sense. I still really like you and I'm willing to change anything or do anything. The only thing that I wish we did more was watch videos or movies together. I feel corny for saying that, but it does make you feel closer to you. That's not corny. Don't worry. Afterward, I had such bad anxiety because I felt extremely dumb for accepting that title after I explained that I felt like my main purpose was to give sexual pleasure. It was worsened by the fact that Alex would tell me he considered us soulmates and still wanted to say I love you, but it does not hold any ground when you're in a relationship. He also allowed us to explain this to our close friends. This just felt extremely careless. Well, I guess it seems to me like he's either very confused about his emotions here or he just wants a buddy, which is, I mean, if that's what you want, that's whatever, who cares? If two people are consenting, I feel like if she was getting hurt by this interaction, she should have just gotten the fuck out. It's not really his fault, you know? It's your obligation as an adult to get out of there. I called Alex to discuss the future of our relationship, which led us to officially breaking up. In that call, I also told him that it seemed like he had lost feelings for me. He then said no and explained the issue with him needing help. He would try to seek help for issues about his sexual behavior and lack of self-control. Okay. It's funny how a million times she says she's not going to leak anything from the relationship and then she leaked all of it. It's because this is a message she sent him. Lack of self-control, I think that's porn addiction basically, right, is what she's talking about. He's a porn addict, he's gripping his cock too tightly. After we broke up, Alex would come asking me to delete any messages and photos I had of him. I would automatically delete those photos when we broke up, but it is the level of paranoia he had that would make me feel guilty for being close to him. Well, it seems like in retrospect, his paranoia was justified given the fact you leaked all of this irrelevant information about your relationship that had nothing to do with anything, right? Like, this doesn't have anything to do with the minor interactions or whatever. This is just like, you had kind of a shitty relationship with him. He wanted to bang you, and that's it, basically. And he wasn't being totally honest about it from my perspective, right? It was weird that he felt so paranoid. It's almost like I'm writing an entire document about him right now after I dated him, you know? I must feel like she shouldn't be the one writing the document because her view of him is tainted by their negative relationship. I feel like a third party should have done this. Seems like a conflict of interest. I felt like I encouraged a horrible behavior that he'd been struggling to control for a long time. I would have to reassure him for good, while because he was afraid of people finding out what he enjoyed. He's a gooner. What is he enjoying? Before I even deleted his phone number, he would discuss about him getting a therapist to control these thoughts and guilt. This became a lot more frequent over time, and it felt like it became more of a therapist than a friend. Okay. I agree with Nahuel Rodas sing Skibbity Birthday. Happy Skibbity to you. Happy Skibbity to you. Make sure you pay the phantom tax. Happy Skibbity to you. Okay, there you go. Okay, the messages. Let's see the messages. Whoa, stop, dude. I know that I said I would stop talking about my past regrets and shame, but can I get your opinion on something? Dude, I thought you were someone else. I was about to be like, you're always welcome to vent to me. Well, she says he's welcome to vent, so you could have just said you didn't like it. Stop with this. The question I would like an opinion on is, do you think I should still go to therapy for this, even though I know what the cure is? I can absolutely handle abstaining for much longer, and even if I relapse, I never want to act on anything. This is a huge part of my self-improvement journey, and I'm wondering if you think I should hold myself more accountable by telling a therapist. I see therapy as another way to motivate yourself into keeping your abstinence, or if you're feeling lost, it is really great. You're improving a lot and have been maintaining abstinence. I think you should keep doing what you've been doing since it really seems to be working well. It's okay to relapse sometimes, but since I've known about this stuff, about you, 5 days is a big deal. Okay, so it is addiction, right? That's the vibe I'm getting here. I spoke about having an issue with being more seen as a therapist rather than a friend. I felt like we had less of a connection with each other, and my only purpose was to help him. It did offend me where he would come to me for reassurance but wouldn't return the same gesture. Before this, I had just vented to him about and was met with silence until I started this conversation. Okay, big boilerplate here so far from what I'm reading. Shitty relationship struggles. He seems like he was, I don't know, kind of an asshole, relying on this person too much. Who cares? Why does this need to be public business? This is not the most egregious thing in the world, right? This is like normal 21-year-old shit. Why do I need to know this? These are just from memory. There will be several months where he would be active elsewhere while I was venting or even attempting to talk to him. I wouldn't be offended if it wasn't a recurring issue. I mentioned being a rebound because I found in our old messages about him being happy that I was able to fill the void. I would feel guilty for accusing him of having malicious intent. I did not feel like anything was changing afterward. There was noticeable change between then and November when we became close again. It felt like the reason we became close again was because I was satisfying Alex's needs by giving him attention. We were also discussing what we've talked about similarly during our relationship, such as clothing and fantasies. A couple days later, I would ask him about his search for a therapist. His response did worry me due to the fact we discussed the reasons why he should look for a therapist, but he seemingly went back on his words. I understand it's not my responsibility to push people into getting help, but Alex definitely needed it at most, especially when he was struggling with his behavior for so long. I would not text back Alex out of frustration because I expected the conversation to go nowhere or be met with silence. Okay, what was this conversation? Okay, he's fixing himself. He feels like he doesn't need a therapist. Here, this one, I've accepted my mistakes. are mistakes, and I've learned so much. I've said this a million times, but in a way I'm happy that the incident happened, because that's what pushed me to change. Is the incident him jerking off? Sure, I still get anxious about the thought that I even sent those things to begin with, especially that one voice memo, with the thought they could someday bite me in the ass, but I can't change that. I've been living much more peacefully lately. What is the voice memo here? Why doesn't she explain this? I don't understand why she doesn't explain what this is here. All right, I'll just get ad block. Hold on, I need to buy it real quick. This all seems personal. I don't see why she went public with it. Did I miss something? Yeah, it's unclear as of yet. So far, everything I've seen didn't need to be made public, honestly. I would do this several times and I wouldn't text him back because I didn't see a point, but it would be ironic to me when I decided to not speak to Alex, he would try to interact with me more. The only time he would accurately reply was if it was about him. I sort of lied in this message. I was happier because I wasn't attempting to interact with him or see him on my social media. I was unable to reveal my true feelings because I believe that I was overthinking everything and I was paranoid or delusional. Brave browser seems to block the ads. What if the screenshots have goon ads on purpose? So if Alex sees it, he goons out, stopping him. That's very interesting. Thank you, NR, for becoming a member. What is this one? How have you been doing lately? Please let me know if you need anything. I know I've said a million times, if there's anything you're thinking about, still in regards to me, I don't want you to be afraid to talk about it. I'll always be here and prepared to talk about anything. I've been feeling better from the last couple of days because I've been straying away from social media and my phone in general. My sickness finally lifted and I realized I feel much better and actually happier. I don't think there's anything wrong with you. My mind has been clearer lately and I feel like any delusional thoughts can easily be regarded. I don't have any means in engaging in those thoughts, and besides, they're nothing more than paranoia and obsessive thinking. Everything you've said before was helped with understanding how I feel. I think there's nothing to be said. Okay. Well, it seems resolved at this point, right? Then he would speak about his guilt again and ask me to delete his old phone number. I would question if he was continuing to be friends with me because he was afraid, on the basis he would do this to several other people. But when you say do this to several other people, it's just like he had a relationship with you. He liked you more for sex than anything else. Like, that sucks, but it's nothing that needs to be made public. Like, this is a normal, shitty social interaction that happens sometimes. You know? A bitter ex. It seems pretty bitter to me. Like, realistically, dude, no one needs to be exposed for fucking someone and like not being nice enough to them after or something. They dated for 2 months. Yeah, they did. Who cares? Alex accidentally misread my messages and thought I wanted to remind him of his bad moments, but I would almost be grateful because he would reveal to me he was miserable. He pretended he was living peacefully and was able to move on from the incident, but that was not the case. He needed to have constant distractions to feel normal and avoid guilt, essentially running away from his thoughts. I understand he was trying to explain that my existence does not make him uncomfortable. It's the existence of those media that gives him guilt. But after all this, he would go back to his old ways and nothing was changed. What media? Why does this person not even say what the media is? What media? These weeks of being the person having to help him erase those memories felt degrading. I feel like I was being kept around because I had these media stored. It would make me guilty being close to him or even dating him. Well, then just stop being close to him and get the fuck out. You're an adult, right? Just stop talking to him if he sucks. Why can nobody just cut off someone who sucks anymore? I guess you know, sometimes I'm guilty of this. I won't cut off someone if they suck, but you just got to get better at this with time. This isn't anything. I haven't even seen anything that like egregious at all yet. It's just like you had a shitty relationship. I put my foot down and told him straightforwardly that he needed help. I noticed a pattern of behavior he was going through and there was hardly any progress being made. It was obvious that Alex was not getting better, but I could not provide any more help as a friend. Alex continually goes through this cycle, gives me guilt because I feel like I accidentally hurt him. He then decided to go off his meds. What's he medicated for? How have you been? Pretty awful, actually, but only because starting Tuesday I went off my meds and the withdrawals are awful. But it's for the better and I can already see improvement within myself all around. How about you? Well, you know, sometimes SSRIs are bad, if that's what he's on. Can I ask why you decided to go off your meds? I had an addiction to them and I didn't realize it. Sure, they may have helped my ADHD, so it's like Adderall. But I was mainly taking them for the heavy dopamine release, which I confused being treatment. This is now the longest I've gone without them and I'm already seeing huge benefits. Well, that seems good. I mean, Adderall can definitely have a negative effect on you, or Vyvanse, Concerta, whatever he's taking. Dexedrine. It can be good to get off meds. And the meds aren't related to porn addiction. If you try jerking off or having sex when you're on like a stimulant like Adderall, it's really weird. You can get hard, but your dick is like a weird, like floppy sort of texture thing to it. And coming is so hard on Adderall, dude. Coming is so difficult. It takes so long. And when you do come, it's like weird. It's like a weird viscous sort of thing. It's not that enjoyable. We had another fight that was similar to the one previously mentioned. I didn't feel like a close friend. We were hardly talking, and I noticed he wasn't putting much of an effort into keeping that relationship. I wanted to reiterate that it is a clear difference between then and later when we were actually speaking to each other. Why do you know? Why do you think I know? If I said that, isn't it obvious? In his story, he had talked about being his own therapist after going off of his meds. I felt like a slap to my face after conversing with him several days prior. He was continuously going through the cycle, taking charge, and hurting himself by avoiding getting help. I don't think there's anything wrong with you going off your meds if you believe they're detrimental to your health and you don't see any noticeable progress, but Alex is not getting better. Is his ADHD making him a gooner? I don't get it. This is also not the first time he's been off his meds. Alex is highly aware of his cycles or issues, but chooses to make situations worse for himself. Oh my god. Hey, you good? Alex asks. Whatever this fucker's name is. Stirring Juice says, for a while, I thought I was inconsiderate and selfish for thinking it was weird you wouldn't ever reply to my message or would flat out ignore me. I tried to treat this as normal because you've reassured me several times, but I never felt this type of feeling with another friend, especially with someone who considered me close. For a bit, I didn't even try to message you because I knew you would just probably leave me hanging. Also, I can't tell if you're doing it on purpose or not, but What hurts me the most is the fact on your story you consider yourself your own therapist, and I wish I could have asked you what you mean by that. But again, that overwhelming sense of anxiety comes every time I try to speak to you. I hope you're not ignoring my request to get a therapist, because if you are, then I don't know what to do anymore, because I feel scared that you're going through the cycle again, and it hurts to see you go through it. Is the cycle just being a porn addict? Why is this person speaking in such vagaries? I don't understand. It has to be a generational thing since this person was freshly 20 or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I'm 21. Freshly 20, good meme, bro. I was insulted that he would suggest getting a therapist because there's nothing more I can do or say when that message is eerily similar to what I said days prior. I find issues with him saying that he isn't a big texter. It is a lie because of how we talked about before we were dating and from other people's perspectives as well. Group situations were also a lie because we were in many of the same group chats or servers with different people and I would feel ignored. Okay. All of this part of the document, this is like so nothing. Like, okay, you had a shitty relationship with him. There weren't any prominent moments beside the small discussion I had with him about the private story. Alex would time to time discuss his issues about frequently making friends in his community. He acknowledged in the past that it is uncommon for creators to befriend their fans. It is quite noticeable before this situation that Alex had been very talkative with his followers. He feels a very big disconnect between himself and his fans, in which he does not feel like a creator, nor does he have a status. It's the creator's job to understand that power imbalance in interacting with fans. Okay, already with the fucking buzzwords and the language, I'm getting red flags here. Power imbalance. No, if you're a YouTuber, you are a normal fucking guy, unless you like rape someone. Unless you're like, the only way you can get in my video is if I have sex with you. That's, I guess, a power imbalance, but is that what's going on here? Is there any evidence of that? What is a power imbalance? Creator has influence over their fans because of their status. Are the fans retarded? Are all you guys retarded? Actually, that's the answer is yes. You guys are fucking geniuses, obviously. But like, can you not be friends? Can you not be friends with someone from your chat? I'm friends with people I've met from chat. I'm friends with people from the old Discord who I still talk to who are pretty cool. Like, I've met people on Instagram who are cool who we talk like now and then, and like just bullshit. And they're not creators, they're just fans of my stuff who we message because they seem like cool people. We have good conversation. Like, there's nothing inherently wrong with being friends with your audience, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. There's literally nothing wrong with it. I don't understand, like, the power imbalance. Okay, explain how the power was abused. Understandably, a fan would give attention to their favorite creator, and it would seem that Alex does take advantage of this later on. Okay, well, why is that a problem, though? He mentions being aware of his issues and does nothing to improve them. Okay, and how do the issues manifest with the fans? These moments are not the first time of him wanting to disconnect from his community. Unfortunately, these other moments were not captured, but this includes his old Twitter deactivation and his leaving several servers in order to prevent parasocial relationships. I mean, if you're in a server, it's not parasocial, it's just social, right? Take my advice, this is also referring to your other story as well, but you have to stop making friends through fans and focus on yourself more because you're putting yourself in a weird position at this point. You have too many relationships to handle. Yes, absolutely, I agree so much. It wasn't until a recent event that really made me realize how fake people can be, but now I absolutely know. I'm keeping my circle extremely small and limited to people I already know and trust. I mean, this seems fine. I know it's a little strange for popular creators to befriend their fans, and I already have quite a bit. Recently, I've been trying to stop for reasons, but it's so hard when there's so many cool people in this community, and there's a big disconnect for me where I don't feel like I have a different status than anyone else. I feel like just another internet horror nerd, you know? I just want to be friends with people, but more times than not, it does feel like I'm being taken advantage of sometimes. So he's saying it's the opposite. He's saying these weird people he's meeting are like clout chasey, or like he confides in them and his personal problems, and then they leak it or something. They're taking advantage of him. They want to be friends with him for his status instead, which is like shitty behavior that can happen, but I have yet to see like where the huge issue is yet. Fast forward to December, I started to notice how comfortable and close we were getting. A lot of our conversations were similar to how we would talk when we were dating. I was getting mixed signals. These conversations would range from complimenting each to fantasies that Alex had, including wearing my clothing or being me. I felt guilty for having issues with Alex again. I thought I was being overreactive and that I had a hard time adapting or normalizing talking like this to friends. I convinced myself that I was the issue. Well, just stop talking to him then. Okay, so they dated and then they kept talking. They keep talking, which you probably shouldn't do, but did he do anything wrong to her? I don't get it. And even if he did, like, is it something that needs to be made public, or is it just like him being kind of shitty and like only caring about his own feelings? Like, that sucks, but like, we don't need to know that. I don't care if someone's shitty to their girlfriend unless they fucking hit them or something. Or it's like clear emotional manipulation that can be like drawn out and is like horrible and like leading to some kind of like clear abuse of this person. But like, you're an adult, just get out. There used to be a high standard for this kind of stuff for me to care. It was playful at first, became flirtatious over time. I had a difficult time cutting him off officially because I saw myself as the issue and thought these problems could be resolved. Something worth noting, it seemed Alex wanted to ditch completely during our last argument and did not want to acknowledge his behavior or change. Well, just stop talking to him if he's a loser. I learned later on he did talk to his friends similarly to how he talked to me, but I find that off-putting when some of these people did not know about Alex's fantasies or fetishes. He later commented he would have relapsed with the sexual behavior more recently, but our conversations gave off a different tone. I find that hard to believe. When you say relapse, does that mean jerking off or the porn addiction or wanting to jerk off to pictures of you before you consent or something? Like, what does this mean? Can you just say what it means? It's not even really in the screenshots specifically. It's just like vaguities. Server B. Okay. 9 pages in. It's 11,000 words. We're probably 3,000 words in already, and I don't know why this was made still. So everything until this point could have been cut. Everything until this point could have been cut, to be clear. Didn't need to be here. Alex would sometimes leave and join back this analog server that I used to mod for. He would use it as a way to communicate with some of his fans about updates for upcoming videos and projects in a small channel dedicated to the Mandela catalog, similar to how Catacord used to be, but on a much smaller scale. This server will be referred to as Server B. The discussions will be normal at first, with fans theorizing about the series and also asking Alex questions that he would answer. It's hard to determine when it started going off course, but at a certain point, Alex became more comfortable talking about his gender identity with fans. A small disclaimer, because I feel like some people may rebuttal and mention that Alex has not formally come out yet, and this is disrespectful to show this side of him. So are you like outing his trans identity against his will? He would send these messages to a server that had 600 members during the time, and dozens of fans would be discussing with him, so I'm surprised it's never leaked out. Okay, well, fair enough. Alex later shown to make group chats with his fans to discuss gender identity and outfits. As the writer of this document, I am trans. Okay, and some of the people who are affected by him are trans as well. Alex's identity is a unique case. People should be warned about his predatory behavior. Okay. Predatory behavior is the accusation now. Me somehow getting gender envy from my own characters. I mean, that's weird, but not the worst thing ever yet. Like, I don't know. Alex Kister, when he reveals the truth after all this time, he never will. What does this even mean? Took the girl pills. Okay, so all 3 of these messages are nothing and don't matter. Who fucking cares? None of us saw an issue with him exploring this topic at first because we believed it was innocent. However, the uncomfortableness started to settle in when we realized this was more parasocial than beneficial. I did not want to ruin the fun of others, so I regrettably kept my mouth shut about how I felt. How I look after becoming analog horror YouTuber. When estrogen arc? Right now. I mean, if you're trans, I don't think there's anything wrong with just talking in vagaries about being trans. If you're talking about your autogynephilia stuff, which it seems Alex did have that specifically, which maybe I can define this for you guys so those who don't know can know. So autogynephilia is a male's propensity to be sexually aroused by the thought of himself as a female. So if he was talking about his sexual interests with fans or whatever, and it was like very explicit, then that's weird. Okay, that's weird. If he was really getting in detail, and they were underage, that's the big thing. If they're specifically underage and he's in a DM with them saying that is weird. If not, I don't really care. Like, would anyone give me shit if I on stream was like, that girl's hot? No, nobody cares. He would change his name in the server to Amelia, as I had another friend suggest. Wait, so you suggested it? Why is that? Amelia, that's so me. Hi. Low-key getting tan. Okay, so all these screenshots are so nothing. Who cares? I don't get it. She wouldn't show all this fluff. She had a damning screenshot for that. I don't even know what the point of this is. I'm 10 pages in. I finally reached my limit when Alex started talking about wanting to create a group chat with some of his fans in the server. I quickly messaged Alex expressing my opinion about this because I knew it would come off as weird and controversial for a creator to make a group chat with mainly minors. Okay, were they mainly minors? And was he talking to them weirdly? That's another question, because to be clear, there's nothing inherently wrong with being friends with a minor. It's kind of weird, especially if they're really young. Like, if I was friends with a 13-year-old girl, I assume people would be like, Tom, what the fuck are you doing, right? Especially if she's a fan of me. That'd be really weird. But even in real life, that would be weird. The only exception is, like, if it's my, like, cousin or something, which then, like, whatever. The question is, do we have proof they were minors, that he knew they were minors, and that was he, like, gooning with them, right? What are these screenshots? Okay, this is the same shit. Alex's behavior should not be my or others' responsibility. I should not be stressed about a person, so this made me want to stay away from Alex entirely. Well, then just stay away. If anyone wants to make, like, a GC or server to talk about this stuff, I would love to make one, because I literally always want to talk about it and want like a main vent zone. Who want to join this? I'm going to be inviting people slowly, so if you don't get invited right away, it's not personal. I'm just gatekeeping it a tad. Would you be interested in a small server? I just made today with some friends. Some are from the server. Totally fine if not, but I figure I'd offer. Yes, of course. Send them an invite. Okay, so what is he doing in the server is a question, and what's wrong with happening in the server? Referring to the last image, I would later on find out that this group chat did actually exist at some point and was later deleted. It included some people from server B, and it had channels where people discussed about gender and outfits. From one witness, they had posted a photo of themselves in a dress with Alex commenting things such as, I am so envious of how you look. I want to look like you. I'm so jealous of you. This person will feel uncomfortable after these comments. Where is the proof for this? Where is the evidence for this? Why is it not in here? Why even say this if you can't prove it? It's perfectly fine to explore yourself, and I know others that experience very much. The issue is that minors and adults have different experiences, and some of these fans are pretty young, mainly between 14 and 17. Can you prove that here? Please. Alex should be talking to someone with experiences around his age. Well, I would agree with that, but can you prove that he was doing that? He set up parasocial relationships with fans as Alex continues to talk to them on a personal level. Well, the thing is, like, it's not exactly parasocial if he's just talking to them on a one-on-one in a small server. Your fans are not your support group, and it's rare for YouTubers to be this personal with their fans. Note that no other analog horror creator does this. Well, it is rare, but if they're adults that are okay with it, and it's not being weird, I don't care. Like, I don't care. I'm sorry. Alex has issues with not understanding parasocial relationships, but that is not excusable when he's already self-aware of his issues. There's a power imbalance because he's a well-known creator. Shut up, dude. Shut up. Stop talking. It doesn't matter. It is the friendliness that hides the predatory behavior, and it can be incredibly difficult to into tech because it makes you feel good to be able to talk to your favorite creator. I considered Alex to be my friend, but as a creator, you have a level of responsibility because you build an audience. These young fans are impressionable as well. Okay, where do you have evidence that they're young? Tom for the document bait? Well, dude, I gotta get through it. Mom. Imagine if it was actually my mom saying that. I then created a thread for the channel because I was getting a little annoyed with gender discussions and the Mandela catalog discussions colliding and constantly going off track. He continued talking about his experiences and what he does in private. Okay, shit-ass website. So this is just saying there was a gender channel, I guess. I don't know, like, I'm pretty happy with just being able to dress however I want privately and taking silly pics of myself for funsies. That's all I need. Okay, well, that's nothing. Dare I try to figure out what my gender is right here, right now, Lamau? I've never even bothered researching yet. I have your same concerns, which is why it was really scary for me to even think about talking gender stuff at all, because I'm afraid of being doxxed and harassed by transphobes and such. It's over, Caffles. He then created another group chat he would secretly add people to. It was the same one as the previous chats he would make. He would talk about gender and share outfits. He would delete his messages that contained photos of himself at a certain point. Okay. Hi, okay, I was thinking we could silently add people that want to add that express interest in this, but I don't think we should mention it in, I guess, the normal server again, only because it could be a shit show if many people try to get in. I guess this is a picture he sent. This person said, OMG, I love this so much. It's so cute. Thank you. The slayest. Oh, you look so good. I love the color too. Pink is so your color. Thank you, hee. I'm such a pink fan for real, bruh. Bro, the way they type. More than just an allegation, it feels like they're just outing him and making him look like a weird guy, a girl. It seems that way so far. I mean, he is weird, but I just don't know why I should care yet. Discord invite. Okay, don't care. Hey, basically ended up making another server like the gender woke one just for a different group of people. I don't know if you're close to them at all, but if you want an invite, let me know. Would love to have you there. The vibe is definitely a lot better if you know what I'm saying. Hi, yes. Were these people kids? It still had the same concept. I began to notice a relationship was forming between Alex and one of my friends. Alex frequently interacted with this person on that server and even brought them up in our private messages. It stood out to me because the way they would speak to each other seemed familiar to previous interactions. It would be concerning to me because of the conversation we had months ago about his issues and how he was not mentally ready to be in a relationship. We haven't spoken about a psychiatrist for weeks, so I assumed he was getting better. But with his behavior for the past month, I feel like he was not mentally ready. But there was entirely no concrete proof of them being together during... Okay, so he was dating someone else, and you don't like that. All I knew was that they were getting close, but I still worried. From my perspective, I felt like most people would not be able to handle the fetishes Alex had mentioned before or his behavior in general. Okay, but it's like a weird fetish, but like if you don't like it when he expresses it to you, you can just be like, I don't like this. I don't want to date you because you're weird. OMG, who's going to the cat store with me? Me. Ow, Blank is so gender affirming. Like, oh my god. Hee, did you see that red dress that Blank sent themselves in? Yes, I love it so much. It's so beautiful. I've been thinking about it so much. I love, bruh. Dude, Blank is so fucking nice. What the fuck? Okay, so far, I don't get problem. I don't get it yet. Before Alex left server B, he publicly explained that Amelia was a joke after a member expressed they were uncomfortable that Alex shared their dead name. People who were supportive of the change would feel weird about this. They felt insulted that he would take back everything said and pretended all of it was a joke. Even if he's trying to avoid making someone uncomfortable, this would not be the way to do it. The conversations revolving our identity felt pointless. The claim was all a joke because it was manipulative as well. You build this relationship with your fans, randomly described to take it all back. Well, it's his right if he wants to say that. If he wants to say it's a joke now because he like is uncomfortable with his gender identity or something, like that's his right to do that, right? Like it's his right to explore that at his own leisure. Unless it's with kids, which I have seen no proof that it is yet. Say it with me, friends. Being cringe isn't illegal. It's just cringe. Well, it seems that way. Okay, he would take it all back. Oh yeah, I don't actually have to be called Amelia. This is all for a joke. Okay. Don't care. Victim DB. Page 12. Why am I only on page 12, dude? Why are you making me read this? I better make some fucking money off reading this shit, because it's fucking making me want to poop my pants. The person affected by Alex will be referred to as DB. The transcript was provided by them. The transcript is read from top to bottom. I vented about Alex on a private account because I finally wanted to move on from everything. DB saw my vent and started messaging me about needing to speak about Alex as well. DB noticed how close they were becoming with Alex and confessed their feelings. They admitted feeling regretful about the conversations they had with Alex for a couple of days. Well, why did they have those conversations then? Why did they consent to it if they regret it later? And is that Alex's fault? Before they messaged me, they had spoken to one of our friends about the same shame they felt while talking to Alex. Our friend already knew about the situation between me and Alex and tried to provide guidance for saying Alex was trouble. I offered DB an explanation between me and Alex to make them feel comfortable talking about their own experiences. Are you doing okay? Actually, when you have a moment, I really want to talk to you about something. It has to do with what you said on your private Twitter. Feels like I know who you're talking about. Absolutely. We don't have to talk about this now because I don't want you to feel like you have to. If the subject makes you upset, I'm honestly just feeling a bit delusional. Well, you very well may be delusional. That's who I thought it was. I'm going to be honest. honest, this is very difficult for me to talk about. I'm going to be very honest. Alex made it very clear. She was interested in me and I recuperated. But I honestly think I'm getting myself into something and I'm just scared. Like, I wish I could share more, but I don't know. Sorry, I'm struggling with the words. Okay, so this person here is being like, well, he was interested in me. Or sorry, she was interested in me. I was interested in her. And then after I regretted it. And I don't like him anymore. So just stop talking to him! How my membership offsets the revenue lost for the story being such a nothing burger. I mean, it is a nothing burger, but also Alex is probably going to respond to what I've seen so far to be, I wouldn't even say false allegations, just like retarded allegations didn't need to be made in the first place. Alex started messaging them privately a week before New Year's Eve. It's extremely important to note they had never truly spoken to each other besides in server B. They hardly knew anything about each other. Alex didn't know how DB looked or sounded. The conversation seemed to start innocently with them talking about outfits and gender identity, with DB offering to comfort Alex. Even though I'm trans mask, I still love wearing dresses because fuck gender norms. Aw, thank you so much. Dress shopping is so fun. You should totally do it if you ever have time. I need someone like her to do that with me for real. That's so cute. Okay, I have to DM so I don't expose myself, but I love that so much. I identified as cis till I entered college. It was kind of a scary process. You're not alone in feeling that way. I'm here if you ever need anything or have any questions. Thank you for that offer so much. Oh, I'm so glad. That makes me really happy. I'm glad I was able to even help a bit. Like I said, you got this. It's never too late to discover this about yourself. Proud of you. Also, the way you've been talking to me about all this has provided me with such an intense comfort I've never felt in my life. Like, I want to cry. Okay, so they both consented to having conversations about their gender identity. Don't worry, Tom, I'll make you happy. Poopy, stinky poop butt. Poopy so stink. Stinky poop is stinky and poops. That's true, dude. Thank you very much, Duff. That did cheer me up a little bit. I do appreciate that, okay? Alex would frequently express his adoration for DB. The frailiness and aberration hides his true intent of his actions. DB was a fan of Alex and looked up to him as a creator. Okay, so I don't care if he looked up to him. Why does that matter? Power imbalance. If people only focus on the given consent or returned affection given by DB, it would make it more difficult to understand. The consent is superficial. With the consent of Alex mixed with how long they've known each other, the power dynamic heavily comes into play. This is not predatory behavior. No, it's fucking not. If they're an adult, this is not predatory behavior at all, dude. This is not predatory at all. An adult consented to talking to another fucking adult about something. Oh, they like their videos. Who gives a shit? If you don't want to talk to him, don't talk to him. What happened is you had a conversation with him that you liked, and then afterwards you regretted it for some fucking reason. Who knows? Who fucking knows? And who cares? Who fucking cares? A creator should take responsibility in the situation and understand their power dynamic and understand why DB would be contributing despite later feeling regretful. Well, I'm sorry that you contributed to a conversation you didn't like after the fact. Don't care. However, because Alex does not understand his status, parasocial relationships, or power. What power? He made the fucking Mandela catalog. Some shitty ARG no one gives. I mean, people care about it, but it's just an ARG. Like, you watch this stuff. Oh no. Oh no. You're an adult. You're responsible. You talked about being trans and wanting to say estrogen with an adult. I'm sorry. You're an adult too. That's your fault. People crying power imbalance want YouTubers to treat their audience as peasants, not equals, and they don't realize it ruins everything. The point of YouTube is that creators are relatable humans. Yes, it is. And even outside of that, this doesn't matter, dude. This doesn't matter. He love bombed this person in order to receive his wants. Okay, love bombing matters if he abused them later on. Did he, like, beat them? The conversation after this would heavily go into sexual territory because that's what Alex wanted from the beginning. Well, if it's an adult and they both consented, then I don't care. Also, this was all before they even confessed to each other. Okay. I'll be thinking of you the whole time. I'm being sure my next pick in it is extra special. Why are these all out of context? It's okay. Don't worry. My brain is going a bit haywire right now. I'm in silly mode. Purr. I'm so silly right now. Oh my goodness, I haven't felt like this in a while. Okay, so they're reciprocating. Me too. I'm going to be real. My heart. I'm going to be real. My heart feels very full right now. It's been a while since I felt this way. You make me feel so good. Okay, so you're both consenting to a conversation. Stop, you're making me silly. My brain is so crazy. You're making me so silly. Honestly, just wish I could be there. I seriously love you a lot. Like, not to get all mushy, but it takes a long time to fall in love with someone, but with you, it felt so easy. It feels nice having my heart feel is full around someone and being excited to talk to you. Okay, so this fan reciprocated feelings for them, and I'm supposed to fucking think this is horrible or something? This is before they confess to each other, besides the last photo. Okay, but they're reciprocating stuff, so what is that? Who cares? Creators need to understand their fandom or community is not a dating pool. My community is a dating pool, and I will fuck all of you. Fuck all the hot girls in my audience. I will bang them all, okay? They're all my prey to the parasocial relationship. Jesus, who cares? Unless it's a child. This message was sent to a 16-year-old, not DB. Okay, what was the message sent to a 16-year-old? That's pretty much exactly what I was thinking. Nobody's around here. I have nowhere to meet anyone. I'm so incredibly touch-starved, like it doesn't even have to be sexual at all. Well, if we send that to a 16-year-old, that is weird, but do we have evidence of that? Do we have evidence with that? How do I know they were 16? After they confessed, DB would send a photo to Alex. It wasn't suggestive at all, but when Alex sent photos back, they would get a lot more suggestive. So DB sent a photo to Alex. Alex sent photos back, and they were suggestive. One would be showing his ass, laying in bed, showing off his legs. They confessed later on, saying he was hard in those photos. I got really silly. Sorry, took 20 minutes. Okay, hi. Those are probably the friskiest ones I've taken. It was hard when I was taking those pics for you. I was trying to subtly show you I can be slutty for you. Okay, so where was this person saying that it was a problem? How come we don't have any, how come the other interactions we have both of what they said, but not the full conversation for some reason still? And then in this one, we don't see the response. Was the response like, I'm uncomfortable, or was the response, I like your boy-girl butt? Like, what's going on here? I suspect the differential carrier on the front axle is playing cards as I drive. I love gambling. Thanks for the 5, bro. They would talk about meeting each other. Alex wanted it as soon as possible and suggested getting a hotel. Reminder that Alex did not know what DB sounded or looked like. Well, maybe he just didn't give a shit. He's just horny and willing to fuck anything. Is an adult. They're an adult, right? So who cares? I find this behavior curious because it reminded me of an old message he sent me. While he planned for us to meet, he was worried we were moving too fast. Nowhere in these messages with DB would he mention moving too quickly until DB brought it up. Okay, well, I'm sorry that he wanted to fuck them more than he wanted to fuck you. OMG, please don't worry. Like I said, talking like this is good for me. If it's really a problem, it won't hurt me. Even just as a friend, you genuinely make me feel really happy. Seeing you feel comfortable expressing yourself brings me a lot of joy. I just really try to be that person I wish I had there for me when I was figuring myself out. So that alone brings me happiness. I love talking to you. Okay, so they're reciprocating. And he's saying he wants to meet with them and they're seemingly reciprocating it. And Alex is suggesting dates and they're saying, if I have a certain week or date, and if you have a certain date or week in mind, let me know. I'll see what I can do. So they're mutually willing to hang out. If you come here at some point, there's a chance we'll get a hotel since our family's house is so small. I'm so sorry ahead of time, but I'd like to let you know something right now, and I don't mean this in a bad way. I still really like you a lot, and I'm super excited to have you over, but I think I'd like to use that period to kind of decide whether or not I think we'll be compatible in the long run. Don't worry, we can still be as intimate as you want and stuff, and I don't want you to act or do anything differently than you normally do. I guess I think part of me is just worried because I feel like things are moving a little fast, and it's definitely my fault, and I'm sorry. Well, it can be his fault, but it's both people's fault. Like, if you don't want it to move fast, then just don't reciprocate it. Be like, hey, it's moving too fast. Let's not sex anymore. But apparently Alex was just, I mean, he was moving fast, but they were both okay with it. So, and to be clear, it's totally okay to suggest that, like, you want to meet up with someone after you sexed, and then that person is like, I actually don't want to do it. And then, I mean, unless Alex keeps pushing, like, I need to meet up with you. I need to meet up with you. But even if he does that, like, it's not rape. Message someone. As the conversation progressed, Alex would allude into more sexual territory. That thought hasn't left my mind for a few hours. I'm very excited. Okay, so they're both reciprocating. Alex has a scent fetish and would specifically enjoy copying people's poses because he wanted to pretend to be them. DB didn't know it all. I feel like you would smell really good, he says. He says, this is weird. I'm really attracted to scent. Like, even natural scent doesn't have to be perfume or anything. This autism shit gives you superpowers. No, I totally get it. I'm actually super sensitive to smell, so it's one thing I do notice about people. I'm sure you smell nice. Okay, so reciprocating again. Okay, I'm glad I got that out of my way because I'm so feral about this. I'm going to be so obsessed with your scent. I know you'll smell really fucking good after that plane ride. I really wish that shop still sold that one red dress you have because I would have loved to take pics in those poses. No wonder I want to steal your poses. I mean, but why didn't they include the reply, dude, when that person was probably, if I had to guess, clearly reciprocating these interactions, right? Why is that not in here? DB would later express they felt uncomfortable with how much Alex revealed to them, such as sexualizing their outfits, that they were meant to be shared in a friendly way, sexualizing their compliments, their confession, and making the server and group chat as a way to gain attention. In a new relationship, a party may feel obligated to continue and have a difficult time saying no or expressing their discomfort because they're afraid of disappointing the other party. Well, if you feel that way and you don't express that you don't like it and you go along with the shit anyway, then it's your fault. Whose fault is that? Is that abuse or something, dude? Is that abuse or something? Alex just wanted to get off and was moving quickly to express his fantasies and desires. The worst thing is that she told me she jerked off to my photos and I literally can't get it out of my head. There is no way she would have known, but that photo of me in the red dress, I'm only 17. Okay, so he didn't know that in the photos you were 17 and then you turned 18 and that's when you started talking? I just felt gross. I can't look at those photos without knowing you saw them as sexual. I just want to be in cute dresses. I feel sick. Well, then why didn't you tell him that? Okay, so all of this is so nothing so far. These conversations were hardly consensual. Conversations are always consensual. If you're having a conversation with someone and they're reciprocating something, that is consent. That's what consent is. If you say, hey, do you want to see a picture of my cock? And she says, yeah, I want to see a picture of your cock. And then she sees it. And then after she's like, actually, I didn't like that. Like, okay, consent happened in the interaction. In this case, I mean, it's pictures of dresses, I guess, or something. After DB told me about their situation, I recommended they shouldn't reply to Alex, especially when I could tell they were not in a good state. Later, Alex started getting anxious in our friend's server because both me and DB were ignoring him. He then started messaging DB for forgiveness while also trying to give reasons for his behavior in his manic state. Alex had time to control his behavior and prevent himself from hurting others. Alex will acknowledge his harmful behavior but then continue to do nothing. Is there nothing from his previous situation with me? Okay, well, I'm sorry he was a shitty boyfriend. I don't care. He had every opportunity to get support, but rather than actually improving, he chose to do nothing. He does not learn from his mistakes. Also, it was extremely manipulative to find different ways to try to get DB's attention by implying he was in danger. I love and appreciate you guys very much. You won't understand until it happens, and it's happening soon. It's a very real thing happening. That's all I want to say. I don't expect anything in return. I just want you guys to know I never had bad intentions, and I'm sorry. What does this even mean? So here he's just talking about how he's moves too fast in a relationship or something. But if the person reciprocated, then I don't really care. Like, he's saying he's sorry, but I mean, that's just like a sorry in like a very colloquial, interpersonal sense that no one needs to even know about. I always meant the best and wanted to thank you for being part of the last few bits of my life. Okay, well, he's just suicidal here. He's just saying he's like suicidal. How do I know it's manipulative? Was he suicide baiting? Like, he's saying he wants to kill himself. Like, that's just kind of sad. Okay, this DM has no context, doesn't mean anything. Okay, these DMs are so nothing, dude. Alex has trouble understanding what relationships are. He's mainly attracted to people's attention. That's why he developed a crush. He doesn't realize that he doesn't know this person whatsoever and still does not understand power dynamics or parasocial relationships. Okay, you don't understand power dynamics or parasocial relationships, so just shut the fuck up. I'm just waiting for them to say that he went chimpanzee tickle monster mode. Yeah, just me too. This confirms that DB made those servers and group chats to gain more attention from DB. I apologize for the silence. I'm writing a response. It's just going to take me a bit. First of all, there's no reason for you to warrant saying this is not on me. Yes, it is. You know it is, and you prove it with what you said. However, I obviously could have made much better decisions, and a lot of it was based off the fact that I was desperate and in love. Yes, I thought you were attractive based on the photos of yourself that you sent me previously, but that wasn't the sole reason I was interested in you. What got me initially attached to you was you offering your support to me the first time I was discussing my gender issues, and the way you talked to me was incredibly endearing and loving, which made me feel loved and wanted. Those few days after we confessed, our feelings for each other was pretty intense because yes, I did end up developing a crush on you because of it, even if I didn't fully accept it until later. I didn't care about how you really looked or what your voice would sound like because it didn't matter to me. I know that normally these things that people would want to look out for, but I didn't care because I appreciated you so much for what you've done for me already. Up to that point, it wasn't something that crossed my mind. You are correct in me not realizing the power dynamic I have with fans. Okay, who gaslit him into thinking this fucking matters? I quite literally am unable to process what power dynamic exists because I subconsciously am always thinking about things objectively and never really saw that what impacts there was with me interacting with TMC fans, since they always felt like trusted friends to me. I understand. I mean, it's unhealthy to you to just be friends with your viewers if you had no other friends. But, like, this is so fucking nothing, bro. Alex has issues separating his gender identity from his sexuality. The sexual fetish is not inherently bad, but the forced rejection onto the other party and uncontrollable sexual appetite is. He hides his fetish well. We discussed this months before, and Alex continues the cycle of hurting himself and others. Okay, this document is fucking... I don't even think I need to read the rest. This is retarded. He would send photos to a 14-year-old of him wearing a cat maid outfit and discuss his gender identity personally. He then apologized for talking about topics with them. Okay, so for some reason there's no evidence for this at all, and none of these hint at a child whatsoever. Here we have a story of him saying, if you were someone I have previously discussed my gender identity issues with, please don't mention it to me again. I want to act like that never happened. I'm not making the claim he groomed anyone, but this is predatory. Okay, well, he didn't groom anyone, but he's a predator. Like, okay, genius. Taking advantage of his fans by using his status. It's off-putting to do this behavior with minors. This reminded me of when Alex sent screenshots of fans wanting to have sex with him in server B. Underrated as fuck. I love this video. How do I know that they were underage though? Okay, this is just so pointless. Let's just read Alex's response at this point, because this is like the worst document I've ever read. All right, so after this came out, Alex made a statement saying, I would like to make an initial statement in response to Stirring Juice regarding some false and baseless accusations made against me. They've infringed on my privacy and are using it to slander me. I will have a response with my own evidence soon. All right, well, what is that response and how long is it? Because it's going to make me want to do something very bad to myself. Not letting me get the word count here, but it's long as fuck. Oh my God, bro. What was even the allegation? The allegation is that he's a predator because he's friends with fans. They also claim he discussed his gender identity too much with some fans that were underage, but they have no proof they were underage, so. That seems like an issue to me. How can you write so much to say so little? Great question, dude. That document could have been 1 page long, and it still would have been retarded. It's a good read. Alex has so much sass and jokes a lot. Well, that's cool. Maybe it'll be more entertaining because this guy actually writes for a living or whatever. At this point, anyone who spreads false allegations should be publicly humiliated and forced to give an apology. Who's with me? Yeah, obviously. But a lot of the time they won't. I mean, even look at this. Like, the initial statement against Alex got 30,000 likes, and his response got 4,000. So most of the people who saw that don't even read it and probably just call him a pedophile off of nothing. The warning about Alex Kister document aims to display how I have shown predatory and manipulative behavior online. This document shows zero proof to prove that claim. True. Venn has lied by omission, contradicted themselves, and has made several admissions that prove this document was a premeditated attempt to ruin my career. Throughout this document, Venn links many screenshots that involve me and will repetitively make a baseless assumption about the contents of it that the screenshots don't prove. Including screenshots of something happening that is vaguely related, not related to the claim, doesn't mean it's evidence. The evidence should be doing all the talking. Not only are these empty statements constantly made, but you will also see that a large amount of the material written is just Venn's negative opinions about me. These opinions about me are presented as criminal behavior and moral transgressions that are grounds to ruin my career. There's an excessive amount of interpersonal related private issues or messages that are meant to be targeted at specifically me included in this document. These private topics include my medication history, sexual history, therapy references, and my venting. I'll not be responding to most of these because it was never appropriate to bring it up to the public eye anyways. The disclaimer section suggests that the purpose of this document is to point out my predatory and manipulative behavior, so my focus will be on that. I'm gonna be honest, this should have been a YouTube video, Alex, if you're watching this. Considering that the Twitter document reached so many eyes, and considering that there's videos about this situation on YouTube with decent views, like if you look up Alex Kister allegations, right? 200K views here on this video. I feel like, I honestly feel like this should have just turned into a video when you could have debunked this, right? What was the public impression of this stuff? It's okay, guys. Alex got replaced by a groomer alternate. Molester catalog. Jesus. Content creators, the moment they create a Discord server. Urban Spook not being a groomer, but Alex being one of the biggest plot twists ever made. Why did they heart this comment? Why did Brother Near heart this comment? I fucking hate how everyone jumped the gun and turned on Alex the second he got exposed before waiting to hear Alex's side to hear more concrete evidence. Yeah, obviously. For clarification's sake, since I keep seeing misinformation being spread, both Ven and the one going by DB are over the age of 21. I am 20. In part 1 to 19, I was 19 and Ven was 20. Mitcha is the 16-year-old, not DB. Before I even begin, I want to clear up the rumor that I'm a pedophile or a groomer. This is not true, and Ven even states this in a Tumblr post they made. None of us have ever mentioned about him being a pedophile, and I originally explained there was no evidence of him being a groomer. The response to Ven's document is formatted similarly to the original. I will show a part of the document, but then add my input below accordingly. Not every part will be acknowledged due to it being a private matter, or if the topic is clarified already. I will not be providing the links that lead to the screenshots, since I don't want to be the one providing access to the porn ad-filled image hosting site that Ven chose to present these, which is exposed to minors. Although not illegal, it's jarring that Ven was not more mindful of this considering the nature of the call-out. That's actually true. It is best to have Ven's document pulled up while reading this to examine the screenshots and to have a better understanding of what I'm responding to if you haven't already. Document analysis. The disclaimer section that starts off the document links to a defamation section, which includes this segment. Acts of malice can be made out of anger. This is something I elaborate and show evidence of later on, but Ven will show that they act out of anger by showing the same private information about me and this doc to friends while stating they want to make sure I don't have any successful relationships in the future. I will note that Ven and I's relationship was not handled well at all on my end. This was my first actual romantic relationship I've made in my life, and I don't want my ignorance and stupidity to be mistaken as me being manipulative. If I could go back, I wish I broke up with him, immediately cut contact for at least a little, rather than prolonging our contact. I realize now that taking a break from each other would have been the healthiest route to go in, but I thought that slowly weaning it off was a better option because I didn't want to drop such a heavy weight of, I want to break up with you and I'm not talking to you for a while after this, which I thought would be harmful for Ven. Plus, I did genuinely still want to maintain a friendship with them if they were comfortable. This was a dumb mistake. Okay, well, all the relationship stuff is so... I'm just going to assume that this bitch lied about that. Or there's more stuff, because there always is with relationships, right? Alex has a scent fetish and would specifically enjoy copying people's poses because he wanted to pretend to be them. DB didn't know it all. These interests aren't illegal, morally wrong, nor predatory. This is just kink shaming. DB clearly had affection for smells too, yet Ven doesn't call them out on it. True. Me be affectionate in the DMs with my partner is not proof I was love bombing or manipulating DB. They were matching my energy, which is why I was being so affectionate. If DB is dishonest and lies about their feelings to me, I shouldn't be held accountable for not seeing through their lies. Encouraging dishonesty and lying in a relationship is an easy way to make both parties feel miserable. When DB finally sincerely told me to stop, I backed off and apologized. Don't worry, honestly, I wasn't expecting it so soon, but trust me, I wasn't comfortable at all. If you really said something that would have made me uncomfortable, I would have stopped everything. DB willingly sent and offered lewd photos of themselves to me without me asking after I already expressed sexual interest in them. I just can't wait to fit your body against mine. Oh my, no, that's crazy. Good, I'm gonna cherish every picture you send to me. You look fucking stunning in every one. Fuck, you made me feel so crazy. I'll make them feel so special for you. I cherish your pics. I cherish your pics. You show me so much. I keep thinking about how good your body looks. You're so stunning. I'll make the next photos look special just for you. Showing sexual attraction to someone is absolutely a way to show love to someone, albeit not the only one by any means. If you feel objectified, then you should have communicated that with me instead of letting me do it again. I would have gladly stopped sooner. Yeah, yeah, no shit. Minor. Okay, Control F. Minors were in that server for no reason. Minors were there because it wasn't open to invite anyone from server B, which wasn't my server, apart from the few friends that I invited in DMs. Absolutely nothing sexual occurred or was remotely implied to minors ever. And they didn't have proof of that anyway, so probably would take a side on that. He also doesn't realize that he doesn't know this person whatsoever and still does not understand power dynamics or parasocial relationships. Apparently, Ven doesn't understand parasocial relationships either because it is misused every single time it's mentioned in this document. Also saying, I don't know this person at this point is objectively false. It is your responsibility as a creator to be able to handle these personal issues. I don't fault any fan or DB for falling for Alex's kindness because he portrayed himself as very friendly. This is dehumanizing to say the least, and it's frustrating being treated like I'm not a normal person and simply being friendly to others is deceptive. God forbid I form a relationship with another adult where we share equal affection towards each other and they don't tell me what boundaries they have, so I don't know what I'm doing wrong until I'm confronted about it 2 days later after being ghosted. I try to change my ways as a result, and their friend then sees these changes as me running away from consequences and threatens my career. This still does not justify anything and was just a last-ditch effort to save his ass. It's not clarified here, but this very long text I sent to DB was a response to their very long message they sent me, being the first time they've talked to me since ghosting me. I don't have it available to me since I've deleted their number for 2 months, but I recall it being confrontational to me about the same concerns they share with Ven, particularly stating how I should be more careful with how I interact with fans, in regards to the gender, group discussions, or whatever. So I took it to heart and immediately started changing the way I interact with others online. This message from DB made me feel weird about the recent interactions I've had with those from server B, so I deleted the gender group chats and servers and made a fresh Discord account that I would use only for the people I needed to interact with online, which is the TMC crew, business partners, and close friends. That moment was when Mitcha started texting me saying Ven was going to write a doc on me. I don't know where Ven said this or where Mitcha got that info. Ven started messaging me for the first time ever since ignoring me, with the assumption that I was going into hiding about all this and they were going to make sure I don't have a career anymore. I wasn't going to say anything before I was ready, and I did see your messages this morning. I don't even know if you're going to see this, but trust me when I say this. I'm going to make sure you do not have a career anymore. You're a danger to everyone. You're a disgusting person. I wasn't going to start shit, but the fact you're going into hiding about all this and trying to run from everything makes me sick. You aren't a good person. I don't care how apologetic you are. Nothing will erase the harmful impact you made on my mental health for most of 2023. Okay, this person's a fucking crazy person. Oh my god, dude. Can we talk about this first? I'm not trying to hide from everything. I'm trying to have a fresh start. What is there to talk about? You actually have a better explanation? You can't have a fresh start. Are you fucking stupid? This person is evil, dude. He didn't even do anything to this DB person. I advocated for an 18+ game night playing games like Jackbox or Gartic Phone, where we could be free to use adult topics and humor, which as the name suggests would only be open to those 18+. I suggested the face reveal so I could put a face to the names of the ones on the server, since this was a developing friend group. I meant it lightheartedly and made sure to not make anyone feel uncomfortable or pressured to do so. On a VC video stream, we were laughing at bizarre subliminal message YouTube videos, which I played into by forming the comments involved with the screenshots. Looking back, was it a bit reckless to do this while minors were also in the VC? Yeah, but not in any way predatory, just a lapse in judgment. Ven says these are acts of taking advantage of his fans by using his status. I would like to know where my status came into the picture, as well as how this proves that I'm taking advantage of anyone. Ven keeps mentioning the power dynamic stuff, but I never once leveraged my platform against anyone. True. Closing statement. Okay. Well, I think the closing statement is important. At this point, YouTubers should not talk to fans to avoid situations like this. I certainly would. I mean, it depends on the community you're in for sure, though, right? Like, if you're in a community of fucking nut jobs and crazy people who say they were going to ruin your career because you did nothing wrong, like, obviously that's one thing, right? But, like, realistically, if somebody made a document like this about me, which it would have to be very different because I'm not fucking, who was like, a 16-year-old sent him a meme and he said it was funny. Everyone would just be like, this is retarded. I completely acknowledge my faults as a partner, creator, and person as a whole. I don't want to repeat how I went about entering relationships the way I did with Ven and DB. I fucked up so many times and many lapses of judgment, but I don't think this kind of treatment was warranted. Ven claims in this document that the purpose of it is to warn others, but when behind closed doors, they show that it is to end my career out of anger. Each document being released containing false, baseless accusations and extremely private information about me never proved to be useful information to share online. Ven's threats hanging over my head for the past 2.5 months and this document being released has caused me immense emotional distress. I have lost numerous relationships and business opportunities from this, all from the false, baseless accusations and personal matters. The groomer title is incredibly damning to any online creator, and now I'll always have that attached to me for the rest of my life, which threatens future opportunities, despite Ven saying there was no evidence to suggest I was a groomer anyways. I never leveraged my power against anyone, but if there's one thing I take from this is that I need to force myself to stop interacting with anyone online that I don't have to, and make some IRL friends and find romantic relationships in real life. True. When I was 18 and got sudden fame, I thought it was an acceptable idea to be friends and be open with fans. I've warned about this multiple times ever since then, but it was hard for me to process why I couldn't be friends with them, and sometimes I had to try and convince myself that this was the truth. After all, I met some of my best friends I've ever had in my life as a result of my projects. Power imbalance is something that I understand the concept of, but I never fully processed in terms of it applying to me. But ever since getting popular online, I have never seen any difference in how I saw my fans than any person I would talk to on the street. Even just referring to these people as my fans makes me cringe because I hate making it sound like these aren't just normal people. Even now, I still don't see these people as anything other than normal people. However, I'm able to stop viewing the situation so objectively and realize that I don't see them the same way they view me, which is hard to accept, but something I can recognize as being a problem for both parties. Yeah, I mean, the main problem seems to be that if you get personal with them, they might fucking expose you and try to ruin your life. Ever since January 1st, I have kept my circle small and stopped starting any kind of relationship with my fans privately. I'm not going to dish the friends I still have as a result of TMC, but I'm never making another friend or interacting with someone privately who's aware of my projects before knowing me as a person. I mean, seems like a pretty good rebuttal. You clearly don't understand that the power imbalance between you and your fan base goes beyond your expressed actions. It is an implicit dynamic that's your responsibility as a public figure to understand and manage. What the fuck are you talking about, retard? What's your problem? He never leveraged his power against anyone. He never threatened anyone. He never said, I'm going to hurt your career opportunities. He just messaged people in a friendly way. He never even groomed anyone. There's no evidence he even messaged a minor in like a horrible way. Hold on, 16. Okay. The panic festered throughout the day, and later that night, I was in a suicidal mindset. I have an extensive history of suicidal thoughts and self-harm. However, I want to make it very clear that relaying these thoughts to Mitcha and DB was not appropriate whatsoever, and I take full accountability for this. I should have gone to another trusted adult instead of projecting on DB and putting that heavy of a topic onto a 16-year-old without properly following up. I'm ashamed of this and did not condone it whatsoever. Okay, so he said he was suicidal to a 16-year-old, I guess. I took advantage of the help was offered by multiple people. The statement makes it seem like I chose to specifically only talk to a 16-year-old about my issues. They offered their help to find the clothes that best match their interpretation of the art they made. I don't know what Ellie's plans are. They're never clarified. I also don't understand why the fact that the outfit happened to be based on someone's art has to do with anything or why that's an issue. The 14-year-old wasn't sexualized and I had zero sexual interactions with them. The 14-year-old found out about my sex life from someone else. Are you beating the fart maxing allegations? I'm certainly trying to. If he was messaging a 16-year-old about him being suicidal, I mean, if they're his close friend, I think that's fine. If you're 20, you can probably be friends with a 16-year-old. Putting it on someone that young is probably dumb and shitty, but it's not the worst thing in the world. I don't know. I think this guy kind of got slandered, man. I think this Ven person sucks. Have they responded to his reply? I'll respond to it soon, but again, you still owe an explanation about your behaviors with other people. Your track record follows. Thanks for confirming that it was real, though. Also, even after all this time, you still don't understand power dynamics. This person is retarded. This person sucks, dude. Whoever this is, this he gotta go. They gotta go. They killed his career. I mean, for the time being, I think you can push past any allegation. It seems like he pretty thoroughly debunked it. I think he needs to make a video, though. He needs to make like a face cam responding to the allegations video or something, so as many people see this as possible. Because over on the YouTube side of things, people don't know a ton about his response yet, and just how bad this person fucked him over. Oh my god, bruh.
Very pissed.
Read description. Alex responded. Okay. So the response stream got 5,000 views. Great. Even if he's innocent, everything that has to do with Volume 5 got leaked. Yeah, how is that? People saw this, they read that he wasn't a pedophile and that he had like a shitty relationship with a girlfriend, and he was like, oh, let's leak all of his private work, the Mandela Catalog 5 or whatever. Let's leak all the private stuff he's been working on and ruin that for him. Well, now he hearted those comments? Yeah, and before he was hearting the pedo joke comments. Nice avatar, bro. This just seems so nothing, dude. I mean, he's definitely a freak, but it doesn't seem like he wants to touch kids or anything. And that was kind of implied with that document. So yeah, this Ven person sucks. Not that they have a career, but fuck them. Alex Kister, innocent of grooming, I would say. Innocent of pretty much everything apart from being a shitty boyfriend and being too open with fans, but he didn't sext a fan. He didn't send them a gross picture. You're my sunshine. Thanks for the 5 redux. This person's just a shithead, man. I don't like them at all. I don't like them whatsoever. Sorry this happened to you, Alex Kister. In the future, hopefully you'll learn to not express your emotions with fans, because they'll probably backstab you later on and try to make it to be something it's not. This is so stupid. The sad thing is that people will hold on to this, and some people won't even stick around to find out if he's innocent. Yeah, of course they won't, because that's just how the internet fucking works. But he needs to do a response to his audience so he can move on and make more content. Absolutely. He needs to make a video about this. Only 4,000 people liked his response, and 30,000 liked the allegation and probably didn't even fucking read it. The parasocial power imbalance. Shut up, loser. No one likes you. You mean nothing. Kister only guilty of being a weirdo, creep, loser. I would say loser. I wouldn't say creep. I certainly wouldn't say groomer or pedo. That's ridiculous. That's silly Billy behavior right there. And be sure to become a member. For $5 a month, they get the members only podcasts and exclusive videos that only members get. Thanks so much for your support.